Just wanted to record this quick video just to give beginners an idea of what exactly the program is like, what sort of results people get. There's an example of for us, right? He jumped on about a month and a half ago. Is that correct? A month and a half?
Yeah, just about end of April. Yeah.
Yeah. And just wanted to get your honest feedback on like how you found everything. I don't want it to seem scripted in any way. Like, just give your honest opinion on like how you found the whole process, where you're at right now, where you were before. So, kind of let's start off by introducing what your name is and what were you doing before the program, and then I'll just ask you a couple more questions.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds good. My name's Firas. I was working before this. I was working in a restaurant, waiter job, food runner. Kind of like bottom of the barrel position that you can be in a restaurant, take out the bins, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Working full time. So average like work week for me back then,
How long?
common maybe.
Like, how long did you?
How long did I work there?
Yeah, like no, as in, yeah. How long did you work there, and how much did you have to work every single day?
Well, I was working there for 2 years.
Mm.
Just after I finished like education system. Uh, and average work week, I'd be working like maybe 8, 9 hours a day. So I'd come in around 1 p.m. Then I'd have a break midday, leave around 10, 11 p.m. when the restaurant closes. So a lot of just running around, yeah, just kind of monotonous, just grinding in the restaurant.
100%. And obviously, in your life, like there's many aspects, isn't there? Like there's religion, there's health, there's relationships. How did that affect like your praying, or did it affect your praying, or like because I hear a lot of people saying that in their workplaces they're not able to practice Islam in the best way possible. Like, did it affect prayer at all?
100%, 100%. Like when I was working in the restaurant, if I my sh- like sometimes my shift would come just before Dhuhr, and I'd have my break. Basically, I wouldn't be able to pray Dhuhr on time, and then my break wouldn't let me pray Asr on time, and then
Yeah.
I'd be at work during Maghrib and Isha. So there was days where I'd come home and I'd have to pray Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha all
Yeah.
together. It was just like a bit messy. If I did manage to pray in the restaurant, I kind of had to like hide in the office, do you know what I mean, like in the little where you
Yeah.
do the paperwork and stuff. But
Mhm,
yeah,
100%.
now I can pray as soon as it then goes off.
Yeah, no, 100%. And obviously working 8, 9 hours. You're not married yet, but you are getting married now. So like it must have
Yes,
impacted like your relationship with family, etc. Did it?
yeah, 100%, 100%. Like now I've got you know not only the time, but also the financial resources to you know go out on a birthday. Before Saturdays usually is the day that you want to go out in the week. Always in the restaurant. Saturday is the busiest day, so I'm needed there. I cannot get Saturdays off pretty much. Every now and again I can, but now
Yeah.
it's like Saturdays. Even when people come to me, they say, do you want to go out on Saturday? It's ingrained in my mind that I can't go out. But
Ah,
actually now, I
yeah.
realize, yeah, I can. You know what I mean? I can even still kind of do my work there if when I'm out, just quickly on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. Um, what I wanted to ask you was when it comes to how much you had to work. You mentioned 8 or 9 hours a day. Now, obviously, like I was saying before, there's a lot of aspects of your life, right? Like the health, relationships, religion. You mentioned that all three aspects were affected. Now, just giving a background to people that you are a pretty young guy. Like in uni, you studied business management. Is that correct?
Yeah. So at the moment, I'm just coming into my second year of business management and human resources. Yeah.
Right, right. And like, what your plan was to kind of work your way up from this restaurant job and kind of work your way up to being in a managerial role. Is that correct?
Yeah. To be honest, that was like one of the options I was looking at. The only thing that kind of seemed concrete, like I was in a business already,
Mhm,
studying business management. I thought I've been working in this business for 2 years. Maybe I can try, move my way up in the restaurant.
mhm. Yeah,
That was
100%.
definitely like,
And we were talking about like what your plans were before, if it wasn't for this. So you mentioned that you were planning on flipping properties, but then we talked about it, like flipping properties and getting to the goal that you had. Um, it would take a lot more time, like 5 to 6 years to get there. Same with you building up your experience and doing it with a 9 to 5. Like, is that correct? Like before to get to where you wanted to get to with the time freedom, financial freedom, it would have taken at least 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, 100%. Like, would have taken not only that long, but the process would have been like, kind of get this crappy house. You got to like fix it up.
Yeah.
Probably since I'm, planning to get married, at some point move in there, and then, kind of having to tell my wife, like, let's go move into this like crappy broken down house and build it up, flip it.
Yeah.
It's not a very attractive idea.
100%, 100%. And be honest, like when you first like encountered me, or like a lot of people say that, hey, there's a lot of scammers online. There's like trusting people is difficult nowadays, which I completely understand. But trust me, I know how it feels because I was on the other end, like having to invest in these programs, stuff like that. But be honest, like what did you actually think before coming onto the program, before you even knew about me, like about these programs online? Like honest opinion.
To be honest, I didn't even know like what the hell this was. Like, we sat down and we talked about it, and like even after like a good hour, I was like, I was like kind of excited after the talk, and then I was like, what the hell even? I was like, what even is this industry? It was so confusing. And
Yeah.
then after a few days, few more talks and seeing it work in real time, I was like, okay, this is
Yeah.
actually an industry that makes money. People are living their life with it. It's
Hmm.
like, of course, it still felt like a massive risk because for me, it's like, I'm in a time where it's like I need to be making sure that I'm maximizing all my time, trying to make income, trying to, you know, get everything sorted now. So I was
Hmm.
like, a bit scared to take that jump cut, to be honest.
Yeah, no, 100%. But like you mentioned to me that the reason you actually made the decision to jump on board because one, we're of the same faith, we're both Muslim. Like you mentioned that on the call it did make sense to you. Obviously, there's that fear of what if this is a scam or whatever. You took a shot because we were of the same faith. Um, like it made kind of sense to you, and then I gave you that guarantee, which really pushes people. Okay, if I don't get this result, I'll basically get my whole sum back, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And especially when I was jumping on, working with someone else who maybe I'm not sure of their morals, it would be quite hard. But knowing that, we both kind of relate to the same scriptures, and we both believe in the same things, it kind of gives me that comfort that nothing bad, inshallah. Everything is we're aligned, in faith.
I mean, a month and a half into this, like, was that true? Am I a scammer?
Yeah.
Am I?
No, no, that 100%, 100%. I'm happy that I took that jump. Like definitely it was scary, but like most good things, that
Yeah.
I've experienced in my life, it's been like a scary kind of jump in, you know, kind of into deep waters.
Hmm.
And alhamdulillah, it's been a good decision. Since then, life's changed like dramatically.
100%. And like one of the biggest things is people don't actually do different actions to actually get the result that they want. They want the result, but they won't actually take the required actions to get there, and always be in this cycle of just getting the same results over and over again. It's because you're not doing anything different. You're not taking a risk. Obviously, we're speaking of grown adults here that obviously you have to do something different. You have to take a slight risk, like within reason, right? Risk within reason. If it makes sense, if you have the right feeling, then just do it. And that's what we came to an agreement with. But now let's kind of skip to where you are now. I know you mentioned that you don't want to share your like income because again,
Mm.
by that personal preference, I completely understand. So I want to ask you about that, but just as a metric to give people an understanding, like how much more are you making now, and how much time are you actually spending a day now on work?
Well, in terms of the financial, in terms of what I'm making, you know,
How much
in
more than?
yeah, in the ratio, like the ratio is it's not comparable. Like before, you know, I was working 8, 9 hours a day, 1 or 2 days off a week, depending on how busy it was, because the rota was kind of like that. To make, you know, not like to not even make what I'm making now, and now to be making minimum, because of course things vary month to month, minimum what I used to make, if not sometimes double.
Yeah.
It's a massive, massive change.
And it's only been a month and a half, and this program is
Yeah.
literally like 3 months. So we're planning on automating things now and like really scaling to the moon and to your goal as quick as possible. So, like, tell me about your relationships. Let's talk about like your time with your potential wife. Like, how's that been like? How's that different now?
Alhamdulillah, I mean, there's a lot more, she's been getting a lot less aggravated by how much time I'm working. Before, full time, it was quite hard. Coming home late as well, it's like the day's over. I leave when the day starts, come home when the day's over. There ain't
Yeah.
really much I can do,
Mhm.
and obviously that affects the relationship. You want to keep,
Yeah.
each other happy.
Mhm,
And
100%.
yeah, definitely, now pretty much every day, if every day we want to do something, we can do that.
That's sick, man. I love that. And you also messaged me the other day, like it's so weird that I have so much free time now, and I don't know what to do with it. I was like, trust me, like you'll get used to it. Like it like when throughout your life, like you never had this sort of experience where you're not having to work as much and you're getting paid the amount that you want, and you have that freedom. You're getting confused, like what the hell do I do with it? Like I remember when it happened to me as well. Like, how are you adapting to it now?
I mean, it was crazy, like, because to be honest, I had kind of like a workaholic problem before.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny, I used to have like a video game addiction, and then to kind of stop myself from playing all them video games, I started going hard on the work. And then to go from working non-stop pretty much all week to having to work maybe like an hour a day, it's like I didn't even know what the hell. I was like, maybe I should play a video game or something. I didn't know what the hell to do. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I just want to end this off by getting your advice to people who are kind of on the edge, like they don't know whether they should jump on the program, they should get my help. Because again, like you've seen this, is this a course? Is it a bunch of videos that you have to watch, or is it actual practical things that I help you do and very quickly get results? Is it just long videos that you have to watch?
No, no way. This is like it's one to one. It's a program. It's not like a course I buy on like whatever www dot something. Watch the videos, be in a group chat, and kind of that's it. Like you know, it's very very supportive.
100%. So, what advice would you give to people who are on the edge? They're scared. They possibly think this is a scam or this isn't the right thing. Like, what advice would you give to them that helps you kind of make this scary decision?
I mean, to be honest, for me, like everyone kind of of course it's natural to have that reluctancy where you don't want to make that jump because what if, and like naturally we're more risk averse, which is I think part of me recognizing that was the first step to saying like maybe I should increase my risk tolerance here and like kind of hack my brain a bit, realize this is not like a logical thinking but more emotional thinking that I'm having.
Mhm.
And then I kind of just thought back to all the times like me, I do a lot of MMA training. I remember when I used to train in the basics class. When I initially went to the advanced class, that was like, I was like, what the hell? Like, this is a big risk, And then once I joined, I was like, my level changed completely. I started getting way better at the martial arts. And it's the same thing here where I kind of had to jump over that wall, get past that initial fear, and then get to the goal behind it. You know what I mean? That was the kind of dilemma that I had. And alhamdulillah, I made the right choice.
100%. And like you have to remember, if you don't do different actions, if you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna get exactly the same results. And
Exactly.
really,
And that's the thing that I was facing where it was like, sure, I can stay in the same job and I can work full time and like, okay, I'll make, because I'm working full time, I'll make an okay amount of money. But at the time, like, why am I making the money if I ain't got time to spend? So, you know, for me, taking that risk was probably the hardest decision I've had to make, but definitely the best one.
and we didn't even tell like you have quit the job, right? You have since
Yeah.
quit the job.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Initially, while transitioning into this, I transitioned from full time to part time because obviously I'm still like, man, I need to keep the restaurant guys with me here in case in case things don't work out. I want to jump back in the restaurant, so obviously I want to keep that connection. Then like a few weeks in, we had a talk, and it was kind of like, you know, if you don't go all in, the likelihood of this not working is highly increased, and it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
realized that, looking at the numbers, I'm gonna make what I was making in the restaurant anyway.
Mhm.
And there was kind of a element of, resisting the greed of having two incomes, because that felt kind of nice having two different paydays.
Yeah.
But it
Mhm.
was it was definitely the right decision. Yeah, definitely.
100%. 100%. All right. I mean, I really appreciate your honest feedback. Hopefully, someone can watch this and really find this useful, and it helps them make a decision. By the way, just to clarify, if there was any noises that you heard, I'm getting my house extended. That's why I'm up in the attic. So please excuse the background. I'm not in my normal working place. But anyway, I really appreciate the chat, bro. Inshallah.
Inshallah, bro.
All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Good chat. Thank you, bro. So.